Hey everybody, Nolan with SYNQ.
Keith Carpentier with Qbuster.
We're going to go through a little quick text to Teams demo today. So we've had a lot of conversations about Microsoft Teams. We've got 19 uses of Microsoft Teams in stores, so that's everything from curbside, locking showcases, etc. But text is one of the easiest first ones that we can light a store up for.
Simple, high value, and really impactful for both the customer and the back-end service provider in store.
So we do a lot of generic stuff in terms of like just a general word of help. So we would text the word help to the store. That's going to turn into a Teams message on the associate side, but the customer doesn't have to download an app. They can just keep using their phone on text, so there's really low barrier on the friction.
So are you actually implying, Nolan, that it's easier for me as a customer to text help than to wander around a store looking for an associate?
Do you think you can find an associate?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's look at a real use case. So one of the use cases that we use is text the word event, because sometimes we want generic help and drive that to a generic Teams channel within Teams, and sometimes we want to do something that's specific. An event's a good one to do a demo on, because that could be like Party City, that could be for like balloons, that could be for a deli platter in a store, or even like a birthday cake, and we can actually drive event to the right channel so that we can more efficiently help the customer.
As a consumer in those stores, I would love to have a tool like that. And if I'm correct, we actually have deployments in those stores.
We do. I think we've done somewhere in the realm of 100 million communications between SYNQ and a customer over the last couple of years. Over 100 million. So let's just quickly do something, because the neat thing about this is that it's got to be really easy on the associate side, and we use adaptive cards in Teams, but let's just show how easy this is to set up. We're logged in actually to the Qbuster demo here with the locker and with the locking showcases, but let's go in here, and I'm sure we'll put this on screen in terms of a layover, but let's just show how easy this is to actually set up for the store. So I'm an associate, and I come to my manager and I say, boy, we're really struggling with deli platters for New Year's Eve. So we're going to go in there, we're going to go into text for help in the module. We'll launch the admin tool, and what we're going to be able to do is we're going to create whatever word it is that we want within the space. So we add the word here, we're going to add the word event, and then that event word is now going to be linked to a Microsoft Teams channel. So we've got a channel in here that we'll configure that makes the most sense for them. And then what we're going to be able to do is we're going to put the escalation team in here, because it's really important. Like waiting a minute for someone to text you back in a retail application with a customer is like waiting for an eternity.
I completely agree. And having the adaptability and the specificity of the keyword is critical, because to your point, now we can channel it to the right associate with the right skill set to support the customer.
So as soon as we add that keyword that's in here, and we're going to do the word event, it'll actually populate signage for me. So the signage is going to show, we'll throw that on screen, the signage is now going to show event, text the word to this number, or you can scan a QR code that the software automatically puts into that signage. And if you're a customer and you're a little more savvy, you can scan the QR code. QR codes are becoming pretty ubiquitous. It'll populate the number and the word to really alleviate some friction.
Yeah, we've seen exponential growth in the use of both text and QR code within the retail environment. Obviously, it was beginning to ascend before COVID, and COVID blew it through the roof. So customer adoption is the highest that it's ever been. And candidly, the health and safety element of the customer using their own device, as opposed to a kiosk or some other digital tool in the store, is far superior. Guest adoption is much, much higher.
And again, we'll put an overlay on screen, but when you see that adaptive card come through for the associate within that respective team, they tap the phone twice, it pulls up that adaptive card within Microsoft Teams, and the associate is communicating within Teams the entire time. They don't see the customer's phone number. They can't text later and say, hey, would you like to go out for dinner? I helped you with balloons earlier today. My name is Keith, right? So all those things and challenges, and it's fully auditable and super secure within that Microsoft stack.
Now, can the retailer set parameters and escalation controls if service isn't delivered within a particular duration of time? It goes to a manager?
You got it. So automatically, if there's an SLA module within there, so if you want to set it as 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes or whatever that is, you can then start escalating within Teams and the Teams environment up to another associate, or maybe it goes to a supervisor or a manager.
And then we could compare that data across stores, across departments, across a chain, et cetera, to improve, labor statistics and customer service across the chain.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that clothing retailer we were talking to yesterday that wants to put this in their change rooms for getting help within the change room environment. So many different applications and really low on the customer side.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Cool. All right, well, stay tuned for some other videos, because what we're going to do is that we're going to evolve this story, because what we're doing, text is kind of cool, but it can be a bit clumsy. So if maybe we want to ask for Tide in a locking showcase, instead of texting back and forth that I want help, maybe what we can do in the next video is show how you can actually just ask for Tide in Teams from the customer's device in a web application, so no downloading of an app, and then the associate gets notified that they need to get the exact SKU of Tide and bring it up to the check stand or maybe to a locker.
That sounds too good to be true, Nolan.
All right.
I look forward to the next video.
Next video, buddy.